This is our Archer. Well, at least for now. We're going to give it a complete facelift and change everything about it, including paint, interior, and a full glass panel. Let's get to it. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch our videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
When we first saw the Archer, we could tell it needed a little bit of love. The paint was in rough shape, the interior was falling apart, and the avionics were old. Like really old. Like original from the factory. I mean, come on. Look at this Loran.
But in spite of all that, the engine was in great shape and it still had a ways to go before overhaul. So after a ride, we decided that this would be the perfect platform for some cool ideas that we had. We signed the papers and she was all ours. Purchase price, $48,000.
Matt wasted no time and immediately began training for his PPL.
Arch 51907 Foxtrot, runway 1, make left traffic, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, left traffic, 97 Foxtrot.
This was a special time because we really started to learn the ins and outs of the airplane. We learned what we liked about it, but more importantly, we started to identify what we wanted to change.
We really liked the performance because we had 180 horsepower, but the panel was old school and didn't even have a GPS. Anytime we wanted to fly cross country, we had to bring additional navigation tools.
And that brings us to our first major upgrade, the avionics. Since we were basically starting from scratch here, we had to do everything, including GPS, radios, and a new transponder to replace our old dying one. So we said screw it, go big or go home.
This new panel gave us way more information and drastically improved our situational awareness. That made it a lot less stressful to fly into larger airports.
This was also about the time that Tony began his flight training, and he soloed in only 9 hours.
Archer 907 Foxtrot, remain in this frequency, turn left at Bravo 3, taxi to the base of the tower to pick up your instructor.
Delta Bravo 3, I'll stay here with you, and I will not forget my instructor, 97 Foxtrot.
Our training continued, and Tony and I both became more and more familiar with the airplane.
Nice.
97 Foxtrot, 4 miles south, approach fixed tail, maintain 020, maintain 2 down, still steps on the lines, clear to left, runway 35. Left turn heading to 020 to established, at or above 2,000, cleared ILS, runway 35, Augusta 97 Foxtrot. Yeah!
Along the way, we found time to redo some of the interior of the plane, just to make it feel perhaps just a little bit nicer.
With the panel and the interior out of the way, we turned our focus to the outside. We found a local painter who does great work and scheduled to date. The only problem was he was located at a very short remote field, and we needed to figure out how to fly this puppy into there.
In addition to paint, we were also replacing our windshield and pulling out the yokes to get leather wrapped. The guy painting our plane was also an A&P, so that made it super easy.
We are going to the paint shop to pick up our yokes because we're getting them sent out to get leather wrapped. And also check on the progress of the plane, see if they started any work.
Well, they had started work. The first thing they did was strip the entire plane, which included a lot of chemicals and a lot of sanding. Alright, just leaving the paint shop. They have the entire plane stripped down to the bare metal. They already have all the dings and the dents all fixed up, and as soon as they're done with that, I think they're gonna put that base coat down, and we're getting painted, baby.
After the plane was stripped and the aluminum treated for corrosion, the primer was applied to help the paint adhere to the plane better.
Pretty excited. Yeah, nuts.
Next up was the base coat. We chose a gray just so that the plane would be a little bit different than all the other ones. Now came the fun part, translating the design we wanted onto the plane. We stopped by the shop about 5 or 6 times until the lines were just right.
After about 6 weeks, the plane was ready to pick up.
Plane just got out of the shop. It's getting put back together after getting painted. Check it out.
Now that she was looking better than ever, it was time to bring her home. The whole process took about a year from start to finish, and after paint, we had invested around $105,000 into the plane. We put so much work and effort into restoring this old, outdated bird and making it one of the most technologically advanced and beautiful archers on the ramp.
We were really proud of the work we did. And even after we inevitably move on to a larger and faster plane, this one will always be near and dear to our hearts. Fly safe, y'all.
And as always, we'll see you up there.
What do these switches do on these bows? I don't know. Hold on, give me a second. Let me finish setting this all up.